In this video, the idle battle resumes. HubNut, sponsored by Lancaster. It's also a battle with the sodding weather because it's playing up again. Frameless. And I'm just going to go and have a peek under the bonnet and see if we can find any more clues as to why this car is racing on idle, especially when cold. We will not make jokes this time, but it is done. So what we want to see is whether there's a screw to adjust that throttle, but I can't see one. You can see a little switch down there, so that's definitely closing as it should. I've taken some of the tension, maybe a bit too much of the tension, out of that cable, but the throttle is nonetheless definitely shutting. Of that we can be entirely sure. So next question is whether a change of math will do the trick. I've got another airbox assembly, so I could trick that on and see if that makes a difference. Actually, I've just thought of something else. I've already disconnected that, don't worry. I wonder if that's the idle control valve, which might well worth be checking just to see if that's gummed up, because you might remember from the last video, certainly when it's hot, the idle's at 1100 revs, but if I dump the clutch, which brings the revs down and makes the idle control valve open up, it settles down to the appropriate speed of about 900 revs. So let's get that out and have a look. Well, that wasn't necessarily what I was expecting to find in there. Naturally, I've dropped one of the bolts down the back of the engine. That's all good fun. Yeah, I can't really see what's in there. So let's switch to selfie mode. Alright, shall we see what's there? Oh, there we go. A little thingy. Which I would kind of expect to be free moving in there, but I don't seem much interested in it, because I would have thought oh, hold on. Okay, that's just something that converts the throttle position into electrical, I'm guessing then. So we can eliminate that from our inquiries. The search continues. Oh, what's the bit? And it's that little pain in the backside thing buried down there. Could that be it? It must be somewhere in this sort of area, you would have thought. But there's stuff everywhere. Ugh. That does not look much fun to get at. No, I think I'm giving that up as a bad job. Right. Next step, if I just move that out of the way, is I'm going to leave this on for now because I'd rather try and get to the bottom of what's going on. Now there's something we can do where we bridge some of the contacts in here, and that can help us set what's known as the base idle. I'm not quite sure how we set it, to be honest. Oh, there goes the steam train. Charter service, the timings are all off today. Yeah, I can't really see an idle adjustment on that unless it's that screw there. Let's go and get a flat bladed screwdriver and find out. Right, let's do some investigating then. I'm going to need keys for this, aren't I? Ever try getting keys out of your pocket when you've got latex gloves on? Sorry, nitrile gloves. I'm not wearing my grippers gloves today. I'm on the inferior ones because this is only meant to be light tinkering. Oh, steering wheel lock. Oh, that's a mere 2000 now. Right, that's now all the way in, so that's not great. Still 2000 is better than anything else. Right, I'm gonna squirt some of this around just to check for air leaks. There are so many pipes. Oh. But the revs didn't rise at any point there. So that probably suggests we haven't got a leak going on anywhere. That's quite a nice idle. I'm liking that idle. Just above 1100 revs. Right. Obviously we now need to let the engine warm up. So we'll do that off camera to save you the boredom. Right, I've connected the 10 port in the diagnostic port to ground as per various online instructions. Let's see what that does to the idle. That's way too low, that needs to come up. That's about where it was before I disconnected it. Yeah, that sounds about right. About 600 revs. And if we remove that, we shall try starting it again and see what happens. That's where it is at the moment. I'll take that. What it'll do on the next cold start, I've absolutely no idea. But that's certainly sounding much better than it was. So we'll monitor that. So I've still screwed that in quite a bit from where it was. So hopefully that will now be better. We shall see. Right, it is the day after. We are going to see what the cold start revs are. Incidentally, the sunroof doesn't leak while it's parked, so it fills up when it is parked somewhere, and then all comes leaking out when you drive off. And even if you drive through pouring rain, it doesn't seem to come through fresh. So it's all a bit strange, but it is an aftermarket roof, so people saying check the drains. I don't think it has them. I think it relies on a good seal between the glass and the rubber here. Yeah, look, there you go, to Hollandia. So aftermarket, it's not as Mazda would have done it. The tilt slide sunroofs for a genuine factory, the usual type you'd expect. So yeah, but best I can do is monitor the situation. I mean, the weather's been so dreadful, I've not had a chance to even investigate. But given it's an electric one, I would need a special tool to operate the manual mechanism. It looks like someone's, oh no, I thought someone filled it with expanding foam for a minute. So yeah, not going to be doable. Anyway, that's still pretty high, I'd say. I guess I'm going to be living with a high idle. Well, I'm giving the tape others a bad job because, as you can see, it's still wet under here. So that is defying the point. But look, sunshine, it's amazing. So I'm going to ripple that off. Maybe we'll have a look at that later, and we're going to swap the MAF over and see if that does anything about the stupid cold idle. Well, we can certainly say the air filter looks fresh. Oh, it looks like it's got nothing on it at all, really. that's been made dirtier by my fingers, so I shall put that back and leave well alone. And we shall swap to the other MAF. I'll remove the whole airbox, and of course you don't have to because the MAF is part of this top part, and I've got the hole for the pipe work there, so yeah, I'm going to have to use 2 hands to get that on, and then we'll see what happens. Right, are you placing your bets? Let's start it in neutral, it's always a good idea. Well, it's a little bit lower. Well, we'll see how that does. I've pulled all the tape off, and what I can't, I mean, clearly the seal is not very good where it's been tried to bodge up, but I also wonder, I mean, look, we've got rust here, so it's entirely possible the leakage might be around the surround. So I think I'm going to deploy some Captain Tolly's creeping crack cure extensively around this, and we'll see if that does anything. After that, I might have to try some tape. It's actually waterproof, because it turns out that aluminium tape really is no barrier whatsoever. Captain Tolly's creeping crack cure to the rescue. I've been deploying it rather heavily. You shouldn't deploy it heavily really, but I've got issues where there's major gapping between this sunroof surround and the body. There's one bit there where you can see rust has started getting a hole. There's a bit more there as well, and there's a big one right in the middle of the roof. I think that's the major source of leaks on this car, rather than between the glass and the seal. I mean, I've deployed it along there anyway as well, but we'll see what happens. It dries to a sort of rubbery sort of a finish. It's not very good for bodywork, but I don't care because the bodywork on this car's screwed anyway. I'm just hoping it might actually do the trick. Well, unfortunately, my previous bodgery has not been sufficient. You can see where the sealant has done a good job of sealing, but you know, there are still gaps that are just too large for the sealant to cope with. That being another one. So, oh, try some focus there. As I need to drive to Birmingham, and the weather is probably going to be awful. I've decided that the thing to do is, oh, I'm trying a different camera and it really doesn't like focusing very well. There we go. The thing to do is to apply some military grade gaffer tape. Waterproof tape will hopefully seal it up for me. It's probably already leaking in around the glass as well. I think this is a really crap sunroof, so I shall get the tape fitted, and that will be that. There we go. What a marvellous job that is. So we've got the roof gaffer taped up. We'll see how that does. I thought I'd also make myself a bit of a racing stripe to cover up some of the holes in that door, and I think, you know, the olive drab really suits it, so we can consider that an improvement. So we've still got an idle which is a little bit too high for ideal. Just making sure every last bit of that tape is stuck down, but hopefully that will now be an entirely dry sunroof. We shall await some weather. I'm sure weather won't be too far away, and we shall find out. For now, we can drive to the NEC in Birmingham for our, well, my appearance on the Lancaster insurance stand. The cars won't be there. The Mazda will be in the car park. If you spot the Mazda in the car park, do let me know. Yeah, that's about it for now. So I shall say thank you very much for watching me struggle with this awful heap of a car. It may be dreadful, but I do quite like it, and there's a lot to be said for buying a car that's got faults. It can be fun getting dripped on every time it bloody rains. I mean, trying to fix the problems. So yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Hopefully I'll see you at the show, if not at some other event. Don't forget we've got HubNut Social up in Cumbria coming up on the 14th of April. drop me an email, ian@hubnut.org, if you wish to attend. And I shall see you in a future video. Farewell. God, this phone's rubbish at focusing.